Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. In today's video, I'm going to explain how to use Fluent UI React document card control for displaying the SharePoint library. Now let's get into the actual video. So here in this official Microsoft Fluent UI React controls, you can see the document card. In the description box below, I will provide this link. You can also check it out, the full details for this. Now here you can see how they have used. They showed that document library file in this card type, and we can also show these things like at a time how many files got uploaded, like with whom it is uploaded. If we want to show all those details in a document card, we can display this one. So these type of examples we can implement. Now I have done an example with the real SharePoint document library files. So here you can see the file name, it is there, and who modified this one with a real persona, it is there, and also with file extension images are included. Now this is the document library which I have used for this SPFx web part. So these project documents is containing the files with various types like Excel document and PPT. Now we will see how we can use this Fluent UI document card control to display these files in this format. Here I have already written the code, and this SPFX web part I have created with the React framework. Whenever we are creating with the React framework, we will see components folder. We can see this .tsx file and props.ts and styles.scss file will be there. Webpart.ts file, which is the entry point. So if we are using any external libraries like PNP.js or Microsoft Graph, we need to import them and create one instance for them to use those instance for performing some actions like getting data or updating the data. So here we are getting the document library files right from the SharePoint. So for that purpose, I am using PNP.js. So to use the PNP.js in our SPFX web part, first we have to install that library. So for installing, this is the command we need to use. Now let's see the code. So here we are interacting with the SharePoint document library. So I imported this SPFX web list items, files and folders. And then I have created one instance for this PNP.js and then in the on init property, I created one variable for this one, and here I initialized with the SPFX instance. So for that we are passing this dot context. This information we are giving to this SPFX. So this one will create one instance for us, and that will be stored in this dot underscore sp. And then in these components we can see there is a props.ts file. Here we are creating all the properties to use that in the React component. So here I have mentioned that SP as a SPF file, and for the context also I am taking from the web part context. Now all those two things like the SP and context, here we are passing in the render method so that in the React component we can easily use these properties. So for this ESP, whatever the instance we have created, we are passing this one, and context also this dot context. Now let's come to this dot .tsx file. So here you can see I have imported that document card and some other related statements also from the Fluent UI React library. And then I also imported this tab. We will discuss about these imports like in the rendering part. Now let's see how we can fetch the SharePoint library files into this SPFX. To store the document library files, I created one state named documents, and whenever it is loading, to get to know whether it is loading or not, I created one more state named loading, which is containing the boolean value, and then error in case if we face any error, to display those errors for easily understanding the users, I created this state, and in this class I have included along with this state along with these props. And in this constructor I initialized this documents loading and error states with the empty values like empty array, true and null. After this one, in the component did mount method, I call the get documents function. So in this function, what I'm doing, I'm fetching all the document library files. So here we are fetching using the PNP.js one. The syntax is await this dot props dot asp. So previously I have explained in this .ts file, for sp is containing the PNP.js instance and context is containing the this web context. So in this .tsx file, this .props.sp we are taking. For that we are adding web. From that web we are passing the list. So in that list, by using the get by title method, we are passing the SharePoint document library. In this current context means in the current site only it will check whether with the project documents document library is present or not. If it is present, then we are getting the items, and using the select in this method we can specify the column so that it will retrieve only those fields data. Now here I have mentioned ID and file leaf reference and file reference, editor, their name and email. Because the editor field is a person field which is we are considering as a lookup field, so we have to retrieve the title and email address from them, and then modify date and document icon. So after that, here we are expanding the editor. As I said previously, this editor field is a person field, and using the top function, we are only retrieving the top 10 items, and ordered by is modified. I gave it as a false. So latest 10 items only it will retrieve, and then this parenthesis will retrieve the all the items. After retrieving all the items, all those items stored in this items variable. Now we are after retrieving, we are updating the state. So in this state, we have three things are there: documents, loading, and error, right? So for the documents, we are giving these items, whatever we have fetched, we are updating with this one. And for loading, we are telling false because we already retrieved data, and the error is null. In case if we are facing any issues while retrieving the data, in this catch function, we are updating those values, those state values with this empty one only. So this way, whenever web part is loaded, this component did mount method will trigger. That time it is calling this function, and this will load all the data, and that is stored that data into this documents state. Now this documents is containing SharePoint document library files. After this we have to display those files in the document Fluent UI document card control, right? So for that one, in the render method I wrote the code. So first we are importing the statements, documents, loading, and these only like these three are the states we have, right? So I'm importing that one, and at starting I'm giving one condition. If the loading value is true, then it will display loading the documents. If it is false, so when it will become false, once it is received all the data and we update it, here we are making it false. So it becomes false means we already have the data. If it is not, then it is display this message. And in case if we are facing any issues, then it will display that error also in this div element. If we are not facing any error and we also loaded the items, then this return, in this return whatever we have mentioned, that data will be displayed in web part. So at starting I am displaying the heading like project documents card view, and then after the heading I am retrieving some of the keeping all the information in a structured way. For example, so in this web part if you see, so each document is containing the image with the type of this document, and also the name, and also the persona, and their name, and when they have modified that file, all this information containing. So for each file each document is there, right? So to achieve this one we are keeping the information. Now, this document state is containing all the documents which is in an array format, right? So, if you see here, while creating, we make it as an empty array. So, it is containing all the documents in array. So, we are applying dot map function. So, we can iterate over each file and we can get the file reference and the file icon, all these things. So, I created one variable named preview props. That props is taking the data type as like I document card preview props. In this preview props, we are creating the preview images. That image is containing like in this array. We are storing like array of objects. So each object is having name, link props, preview image source, and its width. So for the name, document dot file reference name, and for the link props h reference we are giving it as a link, and then preview image. So underscore layout hyphen 15 images when we are passing document dot doc icon. So this doc is coming from this document. from that doc icon we are taking .png. So whatever the icon, for example Excel file, so for that Excel file the icon will be there, right? That one we are converting into image. Same for the document, the word file will be there, right? That one we are taking and converting that into image. So all those details will be stored in this preview images. So this is like array of object, and each object is having all these things, and all those values we are keeping in this preview props. And then I created another variable named activity people. So for that the data type is like document card activity persona. So these are the things we have imported at the starting. So document card I document card activity persona and I document card preview props. Remaining things we haven't discussed, I will explain when we are using those things also. So now here you can see before the return only we have collected all this information. In activity persona, the an array of objects only. So each object is having these things. For initials, we are giving that title of chart here. So what it will do, the 0th position. For example, so here you can see this is the user, right? In case this user is not having the image to display their first initials, we are taking the first character from their name. So that will be stored in this initials property and profile image. So in this profile image, we are passing this absolute URL. So this dot page context dot web is containing the full URL of our SharePoint site. After that, we are including this layouts 15 user dot photo. For this account name, we are passing editor dot email. So whenever we are passing the email address of that person, we can able to get their image. So that image we are storing into this one. Now this is containing all the information. So this is not only for one person, like for one record. How many records are present in the document library? We are fetching 10, right? For the 10 files it will take all the people information and it will keep in this activity people. Now in the written section, you can see here I am using the document card. In the document card, we have key, type, on click, and these are some of the properties. For the key, I am providing the document.id. And for the type, so this ID is nothing but whenever the item is created, the default ID field is there, right? That ID only we are assigning to the key because it should be unique. And the type. So this document card type is nothing but we have two types. So one is normal and compact. Let me remove this. You can see that one also. Now if I select, you can able to see we can either select normal or compact. I'm choosing the compact one. And click reference property, I'm providing document.file reference. So this property is containing the file link. So whenever we are clicking on that particular document, it will allow us to download that file. Let me show you that one. It is aligned or not. I'm clicking this one. So here you can see it is asking me to download in. So I need to choose the place where I need to download. When I click on the save, it will save. So I'm clicking save. You can see the file got downloaded. So for doing this purpose only, on click, I'm providing the file reference. And then I'm just applying some styles for this one. So within this document card, we are using some other controls like see in this document card only, I'm displaying this image and the file title and the persona and their name and when they have changed that file. I'm using this document card preview. For this preview, if you remember here, I have explained what this preview is containing all those information, right? So all this information we are passing to this document card preview. So here these three are nothing but destructuring. It is like array of objects, right? When we are providing destructuring, it will give all those items to this document card preview. So we can able to see all those objects. It is containing only the file images. So that's why here we are able to see for the PPT this icon as an image, and for Word file this image, Excel this image. So all these images are coming from that preview props. And then document card details. Within this, we are displaying document card title and document card activity. So in the title, I am displaying, you can see document dot file leaf reference. So this will return the file name. And so here you can see that file name IT help desk application design guide budget report, all these things are coming, right? So that is coming from this one. And I have used one property name it should truncate in case if my document file name is going beyond the limit of that characters. So in that case we can usually use this one. So what it will do, it will cut that long name and display like three dots next to it, so we can only see the first word and the second word of from that file name. And then document card activity. For this activity, here if you see what it is there, modified date it is there, right? So first we are showing modified name and then date. We are taking the date from the document dot modified. So whenever the document is modified, so that we are taking from this document library modified field date is there, right? That date we are fetching and we are giving here, and we are converting that into local date string. So it is coming in this format, month, date and year. And then for the people activity people, so these things we already collected all the people's details, and that one we are directly giving here to this people property of this document card activity. So this way we can assign those things. Now we are getting in this format. To test this locally, and go to this configure folder and the serve.json. For the initial page, just provide your SharePoint site address where your document library is present. And then you can run by the terminal pane. Just run gulp set. It will only open the local workbench URL. You can able to see that web part. If you are interested in learning how to use this Fluent UI React controls or PNP React controls in SPFx web part or extension, please let me know in the comments below. So I would happy to create some practical examples and videos on those topics. Came or not. So here you can see that the local workbench URL came automatically. Let me refresh one more time. So when we click on this one, you can able to see under the local document card, it is there. It is loading the items and this way it is retrieving. So here we are only retrieving the SharePoint document library files and displaying them in the Fluent UI document card control. I hope you like this video and don't forget to subscribe our channel.